We actually like the valuation at this level, and we think that this pullback is probably more of an opportunity, certainly to hold what we have. But I would think take a look at opportunities to increase that as we go forward. We're positive on the stock.
Julie, you think that some change in management could have avoided some of these issues in the past, particularly at the board level?
I do indeed. I do indeed. We're in a very interesting position with Facebook. One of the things I would have asked them in terms of their advertising revenue is how has their advertising revenue changed from political candidates? Because I always thought, as I've been doing my research, I kind of think, well, why in the world were they taking money for political candidate advertising? But basically, the problem here is that Mark Zuckerberg has 51% voting control over the company, and he does not own a majority of shares. And so virtually nothing can be done to change anything at Facebook without his buy-in. And one of the things we've been doing for the last 3 years is trying to get them to have a one vote per share model. And, he's not going for that because he's got 10 times the voting power. What's interesting about that is that we've now got 81% of the one vote per share shareholders behind our resolution, to change the corporate governance structure.
Dryden, would you be behind that resolution as well? Do you think there need to be changes?
I think we're comfortable with the leadership at Facebook. The point thing is, for us, at any point, is this is a community of 2.3 billion people. They like to be liked on Facebook. And while we can talk about how advertisers might look at that, advertisers go and they generate revenues from where the people are. And so I think until you would see a change in users, I think we're still positive on the stock and the leadership in the company. They have problems, but they've shown a habit of trying to get through them over time. And so we're still positive on it. We're still positive on their leadership. We don't advocate any particular change. We want to see them continue to create this fabulous community for 2.3 billion people globally.
So, Dryden, let me ask you a question. I want to understand from you why you feel like they've got it under control when, for the last several years, they've known exactly what was going on, and there's really been very little oversight or even really understanding of what the implications of the kinds of stuff they've been doing would have on the value of the company. So in other words, they did not know that any of this stuff was going on, supposedly, and yet they made some really crazy decisions. And it's kind of like what's happening now is you've got them trying to crawl out of a hole that they've dug themselves into without actually examining how the heck the hole got there in the first place.
Well, I think the point of the matter is that Facebook is still a relatively young company. They have relatively young people, and they're really working to solve some of the problems. They've already begun to work forward to that. And I think that we need to give the leadership the opportunity to begin to work through some of the problems that they have. But they've shown a history of being able, they had problems with mobile, they've had problems with other things from an operational standpoint. And I think that they're listening, and I think that it's time to give them an opportunity to work through some of these challenges